This is David Brandstetter with S.P.AC.E, and behind the panels, this is Tom Scioli, correct?
Yeah.
All right, I've been working on that.
Okay. Sounds like it.
So, tell us what you're doing.
Today I'm here at S.P.AC.E. It's the 13th iteration of the space.
Lucky 13, right?
Convention. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I couldn't believe it because this was the first convention I've ever done. Was the first space, so I'm like, oh, I guess I've been doing comics for 13 years already.
I was there at 04.
Okay.
And I bought Godland number 5, or not Godland, Myth of Oedipus number 5.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's been a while.
Yeah, when I did the first one of this, I don't think I even had the Xeric grant at that point. I think I had just applied and was waiting to hear. So that was like the very beginning of like my comics path.
And it's really just gone up from there, hasn't it?
Yeah, it sure has. Like that's what I always think of anytime I do like a show, that it's like the first year of a show, because I remember it's difficult to get one off the ground, but every year it keeps building on the previous one, and so now it's this healthy, thriving show.
Can you tell us about American Barbarian?
Yeah, American Barbarian. That's sort of the main reason I'm here. This book just came out two weeks ago. It's a graphic novel I've been working on for the past, I guess, a year and a half in earnest. It's an adventure story about a barbarian in sort of a post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, but don't we have barbarians? Don't we have post-apocalyptic stories already?
Mm-hmm.
But this one is extra special because it's awesome. That's why.
Yeah, because it's awesome. I mean,
you read through it, and it's kind of like it's just powerful. There's no other way to explain it other than that.
Well, I tried to make it sort of like do sort of primal comics, like really figure out like what's at the essence of what I like about comics, and just try and
it's
play to those strengths.
experimentation.
Yeah, it was very experimental. I think what made it so was that I initially serialized it online, which was different. Prior to that, the comics I'd done sort of followed the.
You were working more in a vacuum, and
well, not so much that, but that. It was the thing that kept it from being in a vacuum. Previous work, like Godland, was that it came out in sort of like a monthly, in stores. So that, but when I was contemplating American Barbarian, that was sort of at a time. I don't know if you remember, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, it was like the indie. Like single issue comic is dead, and Diamond had just sort of changed its rules about that. Like the benchmarks had changed, and it just seemed like it was that sort of thing was destined to failure. So the webcomics model seemed to work because like you were saying about creating in a vacuum, that was my fear. I thought, well, all these other things I'd done came out monthly, so it sort of I kept in touch
you want to
with
keep
the
engaged
readership.
with your
But if I went away and did a graphic novel for a year and a half, 2 years, like I didn't want to just sort of disappear.
Who's Tom Scioli?
Right, exactly. Yeah, and that happens really easily in comics. But then with webcomics, it became an even more intimate connection with a readership than a monthly comic, because in this case it was almost daily. It was there'd be like a couple every week, a couple of pages, and you could communicate directly. So. It worked out far better than I could have imagined.
Yeah.
So by the time the book came out, it already had a fan base. Instead of being, oh, what's American Barbarian? I've never heard of that. What is that?
Right.
Like you have to sell people on something.
There's momentum already put in place.
Yeah, and people have in some cases already read it. Already read it online, and
I still wanted to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic.
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't see, like at first I thought, well, wouldn't that be a barrier? Why would somebody pay for something that they can get for free? But that's sort of not how things work. If you really loved something, it's like, oh, well, here's like the actual
physical product.
That.
Do you think
like
that's kind of the true with vinyl records and people getting MP3s and that sort of thing?
Yeah. I can say for myself, like even with music, there's things that I heard for free online, and then they ended up becoming, like some of my favorite acts, and so I go out and actually like buy things. Whereas if not for that free thing on the internet, I would have never heard of them. They would have, they wouldn't have existed, as far as I was concerned.
I'm sure everyone's dying to know what's going on with Godland. How's progress on that?
I just finished the penultimate issue just a couple days ago, actually. The artwork for that, and it was around 50. It was 50 pages exactly. The next one will be around 50 pages. Not sure how much, but and then that'll be it.
That'll be it.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Mm-hmm. So is it going to be another one of these fancy celestial editions right here?
I assume so. I mean,
it's just volume 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, it'll be volume 1, 2, and 3. It'll be the trade paperback number 6, but it'll be volume 3 of the hardcover.
Cool. I was looking at lots of cool sketches and development artwork in there, and nice.
that kind of stuff's really fun. And like with webcomics, that stuff, there's even more room for that kind of thing. Like you can show like in progress things, or just thoughts, kind of
method.
Yeah, and it's kind of like what the really good letter columns of a lot of comics were, except more so.
Yeah.
There's no limit to what you can do there.
It's fun. I love it. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
Thanks. It was good talking to you.
All right.